I am proud to say that I've never once in my entire life paid money to have sex with a prostitute. And I'll tell you this, they get so mad. You know, there's one thing I like about Milwaukee, and there is one thing I like about Milwaukee. Seems like a safe place to live, yeah? Maybe not to you, but compared to where I live in Los Angeles, oh my God, it's paradise. My neighborhood's really gone to shit in the past couple years, gotten dangerous. The other day, a woman in my neighborhood was walking her dog, had the dog stolen from her at gunpoint. Now it's my dog. I actually do love it here in Milwaukee. I enjoy any time I get to come here and perform. One of the all-time great stand-up comedy towns, Milwaukee. Yeah. It cheers me up to be back in Milwaukee, I'll tell you that. I've needed cheering up lately, too. I've been a little down lately, I'll admit it. Lost a friend recently. Stupid. A friend of mine went to the hospital for an elective surgery. A simple breast reduction surgery. Did not survive the surgery. Died right there on the operating table. As far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Somehow that's become one of the most polarizing jokes I'm going to tell all night. And if you didn't laugh at it, that's okay. But what the fuck do you know? I've been doing this for 20 years. And I'll be honest, I had no idea it had been 20 years before my agent told me. I never thought of 20 years as a goal I should be trying to achieve. I've never defined success by longevity. I've always defined success by how long has it been since I had to have a roommate. Yeah. That's true. I never had a roommate in 15 years. I'm 45, that's not a flex. Last roommate I ever had, he had a video of every single person he'd ever had sex with in our apartment. Yeah, it's a betrayal of trust. But it was hilarious. He had no idea. Another way I define success as an artist, how long has it been since I had to have a day job? Again, 15 years. I hated the day jobs I had to have coming up. Imagine what I was like at a day job 15 years ago. I had this one day job. Someone kept stealing my lunch. Someone stole my lunch every single day, even though I clearly had my name written on it. And I was pretty sure I knew who did it. I just couldn't prove it. So one day before work, I crushed up an entire bottle of laxatives. Enough laxatives to cripple a man. And I put them in my food. And then I waited until this guy got up to go to the bathroom. And as soon as he did, I shit all over his desk. Yeah, I got fired from most of my day jobs. All of them, really. All of them, except the last one. Last day job I ever had. I worked in a giant, soulless corporate office building. And I quit in the middle of the day. After I watched a 60-year-old woman accidentally step into an empty elevator shaft and plummet 30 stories to her death. I just walked right the fuck out. And that was my last day in elevator repair. If there's one thing I'm getting sick of after 20 years of stand-up comedy, it's the travel. I always say I do the shows for free, you pay me to travel. And that is certainly true tonight. 2 nights ago, I fly from New York City to Milwaukee. 2.5-hour flight, it's direct, it should be easy. I get on the plane, the woman sitting next to me has a 100-pound dog curled up in her lap. And I say, excuse me, but what the fuck is this? And this woman, I swear to God, she rolls her eyes at me. And she goes, this is my emotional support animal. I have a note from my doctor. I was like, note from your doctor? Do you really need an emotional support animal on this flight? And she goes, no. And I thought my head was gonna explode. I don't like when people take advantage of the system like that. It's a 2.5-hour flight. I talked to her about it. I'm happy to report, by the time we landed, she needed that fucking dog. Air travel has gotten so uncomfortable in the past few years that everyone I know who flies a lot like I do, they always have a little trick. Everyone's got their own unique little trick to make flying easier for them. Like I'm friends with a very wealthy married couple. They're millionaires. And they got 6 kids in between the two of them. They're always flying off on some exotic family vacation. And whenever they fly, their trick is the family flies on 2 separate airplanes. That way, worst case scenario, one of those planes crashes, they don't have to deal with their kids anymore. But look, if I'm being honest with you guys, if I'm being honest, I don't actually have any married friends. I used to have a lot of married friends. But all my married friends have gotten divorced in the past 2 years. All of them. And I've noticed something. All my friends' divorces, they all had 2 things in common: infidelity and me.